Welcome to the Excitable Gentleman, a podcast where we talk about all manner of things in the realm of pop culture, whether they be movie, television, music, and or video games.
Some other stuff too, randomly, but whatever's in pop culture.
And miscellaneous. So, which is to say, anything pop culture related. And frankly, even some things not pop culture related because, I don't know, we're our own guys and we can do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, like we pay for this shit, so
Because you cannot cage these animals. Hi, I'm Brandon.
I'm Denard.
Indeed.
Word.
Welcome. This is episode, let's say 470. And we have, really the primary thing we're going to talk about are 3 movies we've seen.
Yeah.
Well, 2 I've seen, 2 you've seen.
Yeah, and it was a whole a lot of jump around for me about which ones I was going to be able to see over the weekend.
The jump around was around just a matter of you seeing one movie that I didn't, one movie I did, so it's all the same difference. But 2 of the movies are Captain Marvel, which came out a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And has made over $900 million worldwide.
Okay, and see, that was the thing. I didn't actually get to see any of the numbers. I just heard
over 900 million worldwide.
God damn.
It's incredible. It's really, just as a number standpoint, it's really impressive.
Yeah, it's getting crazy, though, just how big, blockbusters are, even though it's not even fucking summer.
Well, you know what it makes me wonder, though? Exactly. What is the oversaturation point, box office-wise? At one point, do we reach this critical mass of numbers where the projection is 1.1 billion, and then it gets 900 million, and then not crossing the billion mark is a disappointment? When that used to be everything.
I can already let you know when it's going to happen. Is whenever the next
Spider-Man?
No, the next Avatar movies get released.
Here's the thing with that. I have no idea what that movie's going to make. The first of 4.
I thought they said it was 6.
Is it?
That's last I heard. They said it was 6 sequels.
I'll confirm that, but continue. Sorry.
The thing is that the way that his movies, when they come out, they're fucking events, So they're already expecting this movie to sell everything out because the first one sold everything out, even though people were just like, eh.
No, I think that's a great call.
It was it's going to be one of those things where after Avatar, I'm thinking probably if they do another. Okay, no.
So there's 4 sequels.
Okay, so 4 sequels.
Sorry, you were off by 1. It's still 4 sequels for a total of 5 movies. But yes, to your point.
And it's just but
his numbers were ridiculous before numbers were ridiculous, and now they're routinely ridiculous.
So now
at what point can you top that?
Exactly. He's going to have to break that point, and it's going to be his movie has to do
$3 billion,
3 to 4 or 5 billion, because Marvel movies are coming out the gate doing $900 million. It's if every year they're jumping up by $100 million on an opening fucking weekend, it's it's well, we expecting you to do big shit. And,
no, that's a great call.
And I'm kind of scared when he doesn't, because there's going to be a point in time
we've never had that.
Yeah,
really.
But that's the thing. There's going to be a point in time when it happens, and I think this is going to be when it happens, because we're already getting into the point where people are getting tired of sequels.
True, but I will say this, that I'm never going to underestimate him.
And I wouldn't either, because he hadn't failed yet.
Truly,
he's the one it out when he needs to.
He's always ahead of everyone.
Yeah.
So it's a thing where I will underestimate him when he has failed.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'll tell you the truth. I've never sat through and watched Avatar the whole way through. I've just seen bits and pieces just because I get bored.
There's no point in seeing it outside of the movie theater, because that 3D experience was one of the rare times. He's the one who created this problem of popularizing 3D and making it such an... That and Gravity were 2 amazing experiences in 3D.
Yeah.
And they also were 3D experiences that overshadowed the inherent flaws of the movies that you notice when you're not watching it in 3D. Because, frankly, Avatar almost won Best Picture, and that movie fucking sucks.
Thank you.
It is
Thank you. It is Space Pocahontas, and it's terrible.
Yeah. What was it that somebody called it? It was Dances with Smurfs.
Yes.
Ostensibly the same thing. They have this really difficult to get rare, not artifact, but like resource called unobtainium.
Yeah, which
I mean, there you go. I mean, it's whatever.
anyway,
We are
let's go because we're gonna go on the rant.
Woefully off base here.
But
But
Captain Marvel did numbers,
yes, you did.
and
But we have
the movie I saw
yes
apparently did numbers also.
hasn't done numbers. It's not out yet.
But there was a thing. I actually got a free critic screening, and there was a small release window that they actually gave for just that one night, and I believe it was just for 2 theaters.
Okay. And can you say the name of the movie?
Yes, it was Shazam.
You saw Shazam.
Yes. For the old school nerds, the original Captain Marvel back in the day. But that was quite a pleasant surprise, to actually get the ticket to go see, because I was expecting to go see it when it actually got released.
Yeah, which is a week and a half from now.
Yeah. So, it was nice and pleasant. But
so you saw it 2 weeks ahead of time.
Yeah.
And not just that, by the way. This is not some nationwide, sneak preview or anything like that, which they would never do for a movie that's expected to do pretty good numbers.
Well, what they did was a small release for every city. So Little Rock got so many, North Little Rock got so many.
I got you.
I think there was one in Conway. I think North Little Rock got like 2, or I think it was like 2 theaters. But they want to do small little releases because apparently this is the final production.
And they're wanting word of mouth to spread, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
So
the question is, in your mind, is this a good move? Is it a good movie that will cause you to scream to the heavens that this is worth seeing for people?
So, right out the gate, and we've already spoken about this off camera.
But I have no idea what you think of this movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen Aquaman. So,
yes. So, yeah, but that's just to contextualize what I'm wanting, which is at one point an idea of where this ranks in the post-Nolan trilogy of DC movies.
And for me, this is number 1.
Okay. Which doesn't say a lot in my opinion.
Yes.
But, which is to say, is this a legitimately good movie?
This actually is a legitimately good movie. Here's the thing.
That is shocking.
Just for you.
Yeah.
Zachary Levi, he actually did an amazing job.
Now, I'm not necessarily surprised that the movie is good, if not pretty good. I still don't buy that. Fuck.
And I think the thing is though,
I want to believe, I just don't believe it.
I think the thing is, and here's the thing: the movie, without giving anything away, is the adaptation of the, I want to say, the New 52 run of Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the most modern origin story of Billy Batson. He's a foster kid running away, trying to find his mother. Has no idea who his dad is and everything else, but he gets chosen by a wizard whose name is Shazam as the new champion for him.
Played by Jaimin Hutsu.
I can never remember how to say his name, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Who, as a wizard, is hilarious to me.
I've heard it's really funny the way it's the juxtaposition of tone.
Yeah.
And the way he's like super serious, but it's everything else around him is the tone of the movie.
Yeah.
So it's a funny juxtaposition. He's done that type of thing. Shit, he did that in Guardians of the Galaxy.
In the Guardians of the Galaxy and a little bit in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, it's well paced.
It's basically big, right? Tonally.
Actually, no.
No. Okay.
And see, that was the thing. That was the one thing that kept annoying me was everybody in the market kept saying, it's a superhero version of Big. Like
they're really. I don't know if it's like what they're trying to go for in the trailers, but it seems to be the most on the nose comparison.
And see, that's the thing. Like, I hate kind of making those comparisons to movies because just when you actually see the movie, going with that in your mind, you're not going to get that.
And that's fair enough. But I guess some people just want a way to sum it up.
Yeah.
To set expectations.
But it's really, kid gets superpowers, has no idea how any of this works.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't believe he's actually worthy of these powers, and he's just trying to figure things out. And still, he's a troubled kid, and that's really the whole movie. And he's just trying to figure out how to get this thing to work for him to save his family and everything else, save the city from the major villain.
Sure.
Which I don't want to give anything really away since
Is I know Mark Strong plays it. Am correct?
yes,
Is he good? Does he do a good job?
excellent.
Okay, and I've heard that the villain, without any kind of details, that the villain actually has legitimate motivations.
He does.
Okay, that's all I know.
And that's the thing.
But that's intriguing.
That's one of the things where, and I think this is the kind of the reason why I really liked it so much was I keep trying to explain this to people. The comic books are really for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like no matter at the end of the day, whatever you want to say, they were made for kids. It's just that they can write stories that adults can appreciate and enjoy.
Kind of like a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of one of those movies.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff. There's violence in the movie. Like there's a guy that gets his head bit off. You don't see any blood because, of course, it's for kids. I think it's PG-13 maybe, but
Yeah, that's the whole thing where it's like blood is the quantifying violence.
yeah.
So if they don't show blood in a movie, then it takes
okay.
the perceived violence by the MPAA
It's
down
the implied
exponentially.
violence.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But like I said, it's really well done. They still have some cursing and everything else, so it's really
Okay.
honestly it's like the really PG-13.
So
like
it's not
13.
entirely neutered.
No, it's
Okay.
not. And that's the thing. It's not like something that you would put on TBS uncensored or some shit. Like it's something that you still need to pay like HBO money, Showtime money to watch.
That's a weird endorsement for me.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Okay.
But you got to pay premium channel money.
It's a movie that's gonna be on cable, and they're gonna have some of those really bad
yeah,
alts,
yeah.
curse words
Like
that not even like feck you, not even just like fart you, and it's
Or
just
it's gonna be the ones where like it's the guy that sounds kind of like
yeah.
but is nowhere near it.
They say the sentence, and all you hear is the really bad dubbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. By the way, one of my favorites to do that on
Hmm.
is to watch The Matrix that way. They have some truly insane alts. It's great.
And see, I don't think I've watched The Matrix that way.
I caught it accidentally, and it's impressive.
Which actually, way to make a good comparison for this movie is the way that I enjoyed Spider-Verse is the way that I actually enjoyed Shazam.
Okay,
It's
that says a lot to me because I love that movie so much.
and like I said, I think if you go into it thinking this is more of a comic book movie, not supposed to be dark, not supposed to be like that's the thing that
more Spider-Man 1.
No, really kind of like more like the Marvel movies. Like
Okay.
they're not dark. Like okay, you know what I mean? Like the Superman movie, it was always him brooding and everything else, and him having all these questions.
I have something about that later, specifically Zack Snyder.
Yeah,
Later.
Yeah, but it's just like it's not everything is dark and gloomy and everything's like terrible. There's actually like bright colors.
It's hopeful.
Exactly.
Okay, that's
the thing I wanted. I wanted a hopeful movie. I don't want to go into it and just like, I'm fucking depressed. Okay, he saves the day, but it's still some terrible shit coming around the corner.
not that it's like the same universe, not that it matters, but that's kind of immaculate timing for Endgame coming up. A month from now or the same month.
Yeah, it is actually.
I never thought about it till now, but that's kind of. Shazam might be coming out just at the right time to where it might work out. There's enough overlap to be counter programming.
Exactly.
That's pretty interesting.
Well,
I suspect that's not purposeful because fucking DC doesn't know what they're doing ever. Generally.
I think what they thought was we'll put it in between the two Marvel movies because we know that on its own, we already had Aquaman that was a success that we didn't know was going to be this big. So let's put it here because if this one did numbers, this one should do it too.
That's a great call.
It's a better choice to risk it between the two than on the same fucking weekend.
No,
I agree. It's going to crush you.
because basically the only thing in the relative wake of Endgame that could survive is another Marvel movie, which is going to have some kind of through line probably with it, and that's the Spider-Man movie coming out in July.
Yeah.
And that's just enough to get out of Endgame's way because outside of Star Wars probably, it's going to fucking annihilate everything this year in box office.
Pretty much. And Star Wars has been questionable. So
I don't know what to think about that. I just know that with Star Wars, it's the ending of the quote-unquote Skywalker saga. And somebody leaked the poster today for it.
Did they really?
Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's whatever. But okay, you know what? I do want to see it, and I was going to see it, but I'm actually excited about seeing it now.
I'll tell you this: out of five 5-star review.
Yeah.
4.5.
Okay. So what you're giving this in
There are a couple of
B plus A minus?
A.
A. Okay.
Yeah. Let's say there's a couple of little minor things like some CGI.
Sure.
You know, there's might be just actually no. The acting was actually on point for me, and there is a breakaway star. She plays Darla. God, I cannot remember her name, but she is the youngest sister.
You think she's gonna do something?
I
Like, did
think
she just
is.
pop off screen?
Like she steals the show.
Okay.
Like every time she's in a scene,
and it's not just character; it's acting character.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Because you know what? The reason I say this is because like I rewatched, I don't know what it was, but like a movie from 25 years ago, and it was that thing where it had a big time actor in it before they were a star, but you rewatch it and you're just like, oh, I get why they were a movie star, you know? Because like even then, without any knowledge of who they were, they just popped off screen.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get that with people. I'm like, who is that? And so I always enjoy the fact that I see a new movie and I'm like, oh, they'll be in something later.
Right. Oh, and just to let you know, I think there were 2 post-credit scenes.
Okay.
So stay for the credits. It's a comic book movie at this point. Just
For the
stay
sake of being
them.
completist at the very least.
Just stay for the credits.
I mean, speaking of credits, Captain Marvel had end credits. Didn't give a shit about them personally. I thought they were kind of weak. But I mean, that does make me wonder. Okay, I know you saw Captain Marvel.
Yes.
What did you think of it?
So I enjoyed Captain Marvel.
Okay.
I actually liked the movie a lot. But the one caveat with that was, and this is just with me, it's not on the same level as with Tom Cruise, but I'm just not a Brie Larson fan.
Okay.
Like
she just doesn't do it. She doesn't move the needle when you're watching it. She doesn't pop, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Like, to be honest, I could have saw so many other people in this role before her, and I would have thought they would have gave a more presence in their performance.
I will say this. I think I'm a big fan of her. I think she's really talented, but I thought she was one of the least interesting characters in the movie.
Yeah. Like, okay.
And I don't think it was her fault. I just feel like they set it up to where when you do a thing, and they talk about this in the trailer, where she's got amnesia, and then you don't have the big, character revelation near the end, you don't get a lot of time to star. Everything. You know what this movie felt like to me? And this is the word that always comes to mind when I've thought about this a lot. It felt like homework. It felt like we need to do all of this stuff so then she can be in Endgame.
Yeah, I can get
you. You know what I mean? Like it. I know it was an origin story, and I get that, and maybe it's just the timing of it to where we already knew she's going to be in Endgame, to the point where she's going to be a major fucking part of it, and not just that, of this new phase.
Yeah.
On top of it, the star of it, really. And so I guess it felt like, not that it felt like, okay, we need to get this over with. I'm not saying that, but it did feel like we have to do all this for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, because and this is going into my opinion, I wasn't a huge fan. I thought it was fine. It felt to me like they were really trying to let the nostalgia do some heavy lifting in it.
Well, see, that's the thing.
It didn't work for me at all, that stuff.
The nostalgia stuff really, I didn't really notice it that much.
Okay.
You know, I mean, like, of course, there was a scene which you can see it in the trailer was when she crash lands into the Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Which, it's Blockbuster. I'm 32. I know what the fuck Blockbuster was.
I worked at Blockbuster, but and it's not like it was grating to me or anything, but it just didn't.
It was just,
there was no reason to set that movie in the 90s.
Well,
was there?
Well, yeah.
Why?
Because, the whole thing of
without spoilers, sorry. If we're going into spoilers, I don't mean to.
Well, I mean, no, it's just for her actual origin story. Is they can't set it up for if they do it in a modern time period, because they still want to keep it like they still want to try to keep it like the comics. So
I think I got what you mean. They okay.
And
I got you.
Now here's the thing. There's one thing that I'm glad they really did, and I guess it's spoiler-ish, but pull up the cast list for me.
Ben Mendelsohn?
No.
You're looking for a character name?
No, I'm looking for the actress.
Tasha Lynch?
Annette Bening.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, Annette Bening's character.
Officially listed as Kree scientist, although, they go into that pretty quickly.
She is the. So, in the movie, there's the Kree have this homeworld, and they're all run by this AI program. This is called the Supreme Intelligence.
That's right, yeah.
And whenever you meet the Supreme Intelligence, it makes it look like the most important person to you, or it gives you a special image. It's just something that's
it's a way of disarming you, and it's a way of disarming you, right?
Yeah. And her character and her vision is always of Annette Bening's character.
Sure.
Well, in the original comics, Annette Bening's character was actually a guy. And I'm glad the way they changed it, just because of the way that Black Panther was important to me.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those that's important for women, important for young girls. And that old school story of how it was, it's not one of those ones you want your daughter reading and like emulating.
I got you.
You know what I mean? And giving her that role, I appreciated it. Like I said, the things they did in this movie, I thought they'd done really well. Some of the CGI kind of bugged me a little bit, just with it was a little bit too much. Like, you know what I mean? Like when her powers actually kind of show up, there was so much CGI stuff going on the screen. I couldn't really identify her clearly and seeing certain stuff.
It's kind of more distracting than it was helpful.
Yeah, it was like if they just kind of toned it down just a little bit, then I would have been fine. But the thing is, though, I really enjoyed this movie. And the thing is, I just hate this, though. I loved all the supporting characters.
That's part of my argument. Is just that I found them infinitely more interesting than her.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I don't think that's Brie Larson's fault. I thought she did a fine job.
And see, I do.
Okay.
I'll just tell you the truth. I pictured Charlize Theron as Captain Marvel. Like in my head, even looking at, if you pull up a picture of her in the comics and look at a picture of Charlize Theron, like that's who I fucking see.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you can literally pull it up and that's what you would think of.
Okay.
It wouldn't be Brie Larson. But the thing is, though, she doesn't, like I said, it's just with me, and she doesn't really emote enough for me. She's just really just kind of flat in her acting to me, and it's just,
I can see that.
I didn't get anything from it.
Okay.
So it's like I appreciated her portrayal of it, and I thought she did some stuff well, like the jokes and everything else was really fun, with her, and her interaction with Samuel L. Jackson really was well done. It was great.
I thought it was also fun to see Samuel L. Jackson play Nick Fury before Nick Fury was Nick Fury. I thought that was fun. And they didn't even really play it up for jokes. Thankfully, because it could have been really like slapsticky and bad. But I thought it was just interesting to kind of see a version of what we're used to, and kind of see him figuring it out a little bit.
And I will say that Marvel, they fucking got that de-aging shit, because this was the first one that I looked at and the shit didn't bother me.
It worked better for him than it did Clark Gregg.
His
was a little distracting.
The first time it was,
yeah.
But the more he appeared in the movie, I guess the less it really I kind of noticed.
I think we just adapted. My eyes adapted, because at first, it was a little of like, for whatever reason, I was like, I know what he really looks like, and it's not quite that. I think it just faded into the background, kind of like reading subtitles.
Yeah.
You notice him at first, and then eventually it's just like whatever. But
that
I
was
did notice it more on him than Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, but this was the best de-aging tech that I've seen in movies so far.
It just makes me just think about, man, in 5 years it's going to get nuts.
I know.
Also, by the way, end of the year, The Irishman, the Martin Scorsese movie that's going to be like 3 hours long. That's the one about Hitman, and it's got, Joe Pesci's back. De Niro's going to try to return to acting if he can do that. But a high percentage of the movie will be them younger, and it's them with the de-aging technology. So that could be...
It's going to be real.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's there yet to sustain it like that.
Not
I'm curious. I'm really curious. to watch it, and I hope the movie's good. But who knows?
And also Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie about it. Got me opening credits. I was like, "Fuck y'all."
Yeah.
And the cameo I actually thought was very funny.
Yes, I think it's kind of I think it's funny that in a weird way I'm like, man, that's really clever because like anybody who's going in there with any kind of chip on their shoulder about this movie, if they're like Marvel fans, will be disarmed immediately.
Yeah, and the thing is though, it's a good call out for his last cameo, especially for one of the celebrities that's out there that really had a love for Stan. So it's like, that whole kind of call out too.
Yeah, I thought that was cool, and to see
because
the video of the person we're talking about acknowledge that and then get misty-eyed himself was really cool. That being said, I think this particular person we're talking about, without naming, who just wrapped on their latest movie today, I think that movie's gonna be a fucking disaster.
What movie?
It's a movie where he's doing a remake of his own movie, wherein in the movie they're doing a remake of it.
All right.
I'll mention it after. I mean, this is such a not impressive spoiler. It's such a throwaway thing, but you get what I'm saying.
Is it like behind the scenes Clerks type of shit? Like,
it's a Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, the new Jay and Silent Bob.
He's doing a remake of it, or a sequel to it, or no, a remake of it. Where in the movie they're doing a remake of it, and it's gonna have people cameoing from all of his movies. It sounds terrible.
But you know what? All the Jay and Silent Bob movies sound terrible, but I love them all. I'm not gonna lie about it. Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back is still one of my favorite.
I enjoyed that movie. There was some. I enjoyed the fugitive scene with Will Ferrell. I thought that was funny. And honestly, the what is it? Good Will Hunting 2 open season.
Yeah.
And it was the part where Gus Van Sant playing himself was like, "I'm busy, Ben, busy, Jesus," and he's literally counting his money. I thought that was pretty funny. Anyway, Captain Marvel. I wasn't a huge fan, but it does talking about it with you. I'm gonna see it again when it comes out on, the internets on DVD and whatnot. And I do want to see it now through the prism of what you mentioned because I don't know. It just kind of felt forced at times. I thought the use of a certain song via fight scene was terrible.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. There was one part towards the end of the movie. It was in the third act that was really ham-fisted. That just bugged the fuck out of me.
Yeah, I want to talk about this off.
Yeah, we'll
podcast.
Discuss.
I don't want to spoil anything yet.
But that was the one thing where it was like you really didn't have to cram it down everybody's throats. Like I get the point where you were trying to drive the message home. But
I think I know what you're talking about. I think we might be talking about the same thing.
Yeah, it's like, but you could have done it in a.
It made me groan if this is the thing we're talking
exactly.
about. I'm like, for fuck's sake.
And it's like it's one of those things where it's like I don't want to seem like the asshole for just be like, God damn it, why y'all doing this? But at the same time, it's like I understand why you're doing it, but
we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. I involuntarily rolled my eyes.
But I will say this though, I stand this movie just like I do Black Panther. So
yeah, no, and
no
you know what? Fair
bootlegs.
enough. Also, you know what? I will say,
no
that
screeners.
it's about fucking time that they have a female superhero-led Marvel movie.
Now, here's the thing. It is about time, but I'm glad that it was Captain Marvel and it wasn't something like Black Widow.
Fair enough, which they're gearing that up. Like, they're getting writers attached to that.
They are. And
an actress, Florence Pugh, who's going to be a star.
Well, now I've heard, the only thing I've heard about that really is that this isn't going to be, this is going to be kind of like Captain America 3 Civil War, where it's more like a Captain America and the Avengers movie. It's supposed to be, supposedly from what I heard, this is going to be like, I cannot remember the writer's run, but there was a all-female version of the Avengers called A-Force. And apparently this is kind of leading up to her her creating A-Force from whatever was left over from like S.H.I.E.L.D., going and find like other female.
Because Captain Marvel's going to be the star.
Well, Captain Marvel, no, that's the Captain Marvel supposedly is going to be the lead of the new Avengers.
Okay, I got you.
She's going to be taking over essentially Cap's position. Okay. And then this is going to be like the Black Ops.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Okay, fair enough.
At least now that's the rumor so far because there's no real working script or anything. But if it is,
for all we know, by the way, that change, that entire idea and thrust has been changed in the time we started this podcast.
yeah.
Who knows? I just know that they're naming potential co-stars in Florence Pugh, who again is going to be a star.
And the thing is, though, what I'm hoping for is that this is actually true, because they were talking of creating there's another Miss Marvel, and her name is Kamala Khan. She's a Muslim girl.
Yeah.
And it's a different story, but she gets her powers a whole nother way. Everything's different, but she actually looks up to Captain Marvel.
They said that at some point that will happen.
Exactly. So that's what I'm thinking is going to essentially start the way, because there's if you're an old school fan, there's Easter eggs to kind of lead into what's potentially leading up to certain characters possibly showing up in the next few Marvel movies.
Okay, well, right on.
But
what would you give this in a B minus? Blah, 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 blah.
Honestly, I give it a 3.5.
See, I'd say B minus.
Yeah, it's go see it. It's one of those ones where I'm, like I said, and I want you to go see this. Like I said, just like you saw Avengers, Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity War, just like everybody saw Black Panther. I wanted to do numbers, which it already is. So, and I want to make sure
those numbers
keeps
are
on.
done.
Yeah, and I want to make sure the people that think this is, one of those naysayer things, because all the bullshit on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, give me a break.
Yeah, that's all the whole thing about this being a feminist agenda or whatever. Is like there isn't a fucking agenda. There should be female superhero movies that they don't have a male. They don't have a male that's leading the way for them. That they're the actual lead.
I know. I love that there is representation one time in a Marvel movie of having any kind of stakes or power or anything, and that is some kind of anti-man thing.
Exactly.
Fuck off.
And it's see, that's the thing that bugs me is every other fucking movie, there's 30 of these motherfuckers.
The fragile masculinity of people. It's the same shit with Black Panther.
Yeah.
The one time it's not specifically and solely for them, they reject it, and it's an attack on them.
It's you have all the others. Why can't you just let us have this one? Why can't you let this one just be the movie it is? You don't have to go see it.
And fuck them.
But you should go see it. Like I said, it's a good movie. It's just, I feel that the lead actress could have gave a better performance.
And that's fair enough. But I will say, to your point about seeing it, I think you need to see it if you're invested in the entire MCU situation, because, by the way, she's a major part of it. And she's going to be a major part of Endgame.
Yeah. And this is one of those things where they make a lot of callbacks to the other movies. So you're going to see stuff from Guardians of the Galaxy. You're going to see stuff from, hear names that are in possibly some of the old.
You have every reason to see this movie, just like you've seen the other 55 of them.
Exactly. And there hasn't been essentially, this movie is complete garbage Marvel movie yet.
The only movie you shouldn't watch out of any of the Marvel movies is Thor: Dark World, because it's garbage, and I don't remember any of it anyway.
I don't remember the
Fuck
first.
That movie.
I don't remember the first two Thors.
And Iron Man 2 is underrated at this point. Iron Man 3 is overrated.
Iron Man 3 is garbage. But
anyway,
speaking of white male fragility,
that's a fact.
And leading up to the next movie, Mr. Jordan Peele has actually came out with a statement saying
sophomore effort.
He came out with a statement saying that he's not interested in making movies with white male leads. He said, we've already heard that story.
Yeah, as he put it, I believe as he put it, quote, I've already seen that movie.
Yeah. And
by the way, respect.
And I'm like, thank you. So someone finally put it out there and said it. It's like, I'm glad he finally got the platform, because this is what I said whenever we had the whole Oscar so white situation. And I said that more diversity leads to better movies, leads to more options, lead to discovering more things. If you don't have the same fucking status quo, well, you get great things. Now, I don't know about us. I hadn't seen it yet, but you have. How is it, sir?
So, obviously, his first movie was Get Out. He won for all kinds of Oscars. He won an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah.
Now we have Us, starring Lupita Nyong'o in her first lead role in a movie ever, which is insane.
I know, it's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? When I saw it, in the theater on Friday, it came out. Walking out, it was one of those things where I'm like, I had a lot of questions,
Mhm.
and I was like, I really, I thought it was really good. I really liked it, and it's that thing where in the ensuing, 5 days, I keep thinking about it. Still,
Mhm.
I love it. It's really not that there was a lot of growing it had to do,
Mhm.
on me to get to that point, but I've thought about it a lot. And online they have all these theories, which I always love in a movie.
Yeah.
And it's not like a lost situation where there's nothing there and it's a fucking stupid show and people are projecting all this stuff on it.
Yeah.
Although there are absolute projection elements of some of these theories, just like kind of The Shining. There's a whole documentary on
Yeah,
it, and
they're
it's
always
insane.
Yeah.
There are certain ones, and you read them. If you've seen the movie, you're like, well, that's insane.
Yeah.
Insane. This is
But
one of the major fallacies of Reddit.
But
It's
the thing I
insane.
like about Jordan Peele is just like with Get Out, he will actually answer fucking fan theories and he'll just come up with remember the whole thing we talked about on Get Out with her sitting in a room and she was eating the cereal, but she was eating the cereal separately from the milk.
Yes.
Yeah, he was like, no, that wasn't a fucking thing at all. He was like, that was fucking amazing. I wish I had thought of it.
That was just the way she ate it because
Yeah.
she wanted to eat it like a sociopath.
But when
Exactly,
when he had actually read it, he was like, damn, I wish I had thought of that. And it was like, that's refreshing to hear.
Well, it's the fun thing because we forget. As of 3 years ago, Jordan Peele was a fan just like us.
Well, that's the thing. I think people forget that most of these guys are fans. Period.
Yeah.
It's like it's not just Jordan Peele. Like all of them are fans. It's just
That's fair, but it's
some
also
of them
like that
lose
he is an institution already, and he's so not far removed from purely being a viewer.
and yeah, I think that's it. It's just that he's still in that whole mindset of, well, I want it to be fun. I want it to be funny. I want it to be scary because that's what it should be because
Yes.
I want to make something that way.
And
It's
also,
like,
he's a nerd too. Who's like, oh, that'd be awesome.
yeah.
The idea of that, like
Yeah.
with like Get Out, somebody kind of proposed to him, wondering, I think semi-jokingly, but also seriously, about like, so Catherine Keener, she's getting in the minds of people, just like her character did in Being John Malkovich. Does Get Out exist in the Being John Malkovich universe? And he was like, laughed, and he was like, you know what? I think it does. Not even like obviously purposefully, but he was like, honestly, like as if like I want it to be. So yeah,
Yeah.
sure, why not?
Yeah. It's
And,
like,
and he brought up Spike Jones, who marveled at at that of just like the craziness of the connecting of those two things.
yeah, and it's
But he
just
was like, you know what? I'm gonna say it is.
he wants to have fun. He wants to interact with the fans. Like even if it's something that you're criticizing him about, he still wants to hear it because he's like, okay, well, the next movie I'll try to do better.
Yeah.
And like I appreciate that he's just like, well, I want to make a good movie. You didn't like this movie. Tell me why you didn't like it. Okay, I understand why. I see your point. The next movie, let me try something different.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
you might like it. If you don't, we'll try again on the next one. But he keeps experimenting, and he's not afraid to just make a movie a movie.
No, exactly. And so before I go into outside of kind of deeper impressions of the movie, I do want to read this. It's from a profile on Jordan Peele, and it kind of speaks to him getting into producing and some of the motivations for that. And I love this because it's kind of like revenge, and it's really fun. So it says he moved to Chicago and studied at Second City, where he met Keegan-Michael Key. The two brother talents to Los Angeles and landed on their feet with gigs on Mad TV. Toward the end of his contract on the Fox sketch show, Peele said he was offered his dream gig, a spot in the cast of Saturday Night Live. It was around the time that then Senator Barack Obama was, quote, becoming a thing, he explained. And Peele did an uncanny impression of the future president. But Mad TV producers wouldn't let him out of his contract, ending his SNL dreams. He locked himself in a room and started smoking a lot of weed, plotting his revenge, quote, like a comic book supervillain. He was plotting his revenge, he said. Then it hit him. I want to be a producer, he realized. These producers are making these decisions about art and comedy, and they don't know anything about art and comedy. I want to be a producer and bring my artistry, and they'll all be sorry.
Love it.
I love that so much.
It's like, fuck.
So now he's a writer, director, producer. Again, sophomore effort, us. I love this movie. It is a movie that absolutely beckons to be watched multiple times. To get a full idea of it. And I'm going to see it again in the theater, I think, honestly. If you want to go see it, I'm all about it. Because I really do need to see it again.
Yeah.
And it's funny that when I walked out of it, and maybe it's just that thing where you just get out of it, so you don't want to think about. It's like you just ate. Why am I going to think about eating that again?
Yeah.
And a part of me was like, yeah, I'm not going to see this again in the theater. And it's just it keeps growing on me and getting better. And the more I read about it, the more interesting I find it. And I'm not going to go into details about it. But there are some game changing things in it that are. I'm not saying like in cinema history, but things that happen in the movie that really are like have absolute reverberations of things you already saw.
Right.
To where it makes you look through a different prism. And now I want to see it again with that in mind, And I think for some people that are rejecting it as stupid, and granted, maybe it's like it's stupid, fair enough. But I think there is a mixture of things in this movie, a mixture of absolute quantifiable, don't need crazy theories for them themes and metaphors, mixed with kind of a Twilight Zone-esque sci-fi nonsense. Like there aren't answers, and those are two different things to kind of. It's difficult to parse those out and to kind of make sense of that, if that makes sense. These varying strings.
So like here, now I haven't seen the movie, but I do have the production script.
Sure.
Now my reading of it, and I guess this is just kind of the way that you're describing it to me, how it sounds. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like how horror movies were in the 80s, where sometimes it wasn't just any explanation. It was just monsters came out the sewer. They're like, we don't know exactly why. Like, we might know there's a conspiracy that the government started something, but we don't know why the government really was doing this. How?
Sure.
Like, there's unanswered questions, but it's one of those things where it's like you're just supposed to enjoy the movie, kind of let that whole thought go.
Yeah,
it's like that suspension of disbelief.
And I think it's a combine that thought with another 80s, Titan who does that type of thing with John Carpenter, who is all about metaphor, and themes like that. Mix those two elements together in a way.
Okay, I got you.
And so it's just kind of difficult. It can be difficult, though, and I think it definitely is a movie that, again, necessitates rewatches, but also necessitates thinking about it, to parse these things out. And, again, also, it can be a thing where you're like a fucking Kubrick movie and you're projecting your own shit. And so, but there is that. Although he is very, Jordan Peele? Yeah, Peele. I get the Keegan Michael Key. Peele has been very open about some of the things and what they mean, like not just being mysterious about it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's part of it. Part of this movie is truly, and the nature of the movie is a direct response to Get Out, because that was a thing where he set out to make a more of a horror movie that became bigger and more important. And in this one, although there are deep, absolute important themes, he also wanted to be a more overt horror movie too.
Yeah. Now that was the thing that I saw. It was an interview he gave probably about 2 or 3 months before the movie was actually released, that he said that Get Out was purposely supposed to have a message.
Yeah.
This movie, and he's like, that movie was a movie that needed to have a black actor. It was something that was supposed to be from a black perspective and everything else. Us isn't something that's supposed to be from a black perspective or from a black narrative. It just so happens that this family that we're following in this story are black. And
he even said too, like, with us, I want to scare the shit out of you.
Yeah, it's not that this is supposed to be this this underlying message that you're supposed to be getting because of this certain specific group.
It's not about a black family. It's about a family who is black.
Exactly. What he's trying to do is normalize the status quo of, instead of it being a white family being terrified from a poltergeist or the monster or the Indian graveyard or some bullshit, it's a black family. It's a Hispanic family.
He doesn't want to make a movie that stars a black family for the sake of making a point.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be where, they're just fucking black.
Exactly. It's like, oh, this is a terrible thing. They just so happen to be black.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I think that's one of the things that a lot of people kind of
I think, by the way, he's single-handedly going to do that. By starring,
so far,
by having movies starring minorities and not making it about the fact that they are minorities, but the fact that they are people who are minorities in stories, he could single-handedly normalize that.
Yes, because...
he and Coogler,
and I got into this whole argument, and, that's the other thing. Ryan Coogler, Octavia Spencer gave a shout out to Ryan Coogler and who was it that was with her?
Ava DuVernay?
Yes.
Okay.
And was talking about how there need to be less gatekeepers, and that if they didn't actually help her get, because she actually said that she didn't get paid the money that she should have ever gotten paid until recently. It was another production she did with someone else, and it was because the other person came in and said, no, she needs to get paid what I get paid. And she was like, that's the first time I actually got paid what I valued I should have been paid.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, and she was saying that, she'd like to thank, all these other people, but she was saying that there needs to be less gatekeepers, meaning that there needs to be more avenues for people of color to actually get a chance to do something like this without it being, well, we're just going to pay you this, even though you have an Oscar that you gave this stellar performance. We're just going to give you the pittance.
Yeah.
Which, I'm glad that
she's a badass.
She is. Which her movie's probably going to be
Mother.
Ma.
Yeah.
Right. Like, that's the thing. These two movies were the ones where I saw the trailers and I was like, that shit looks kind of creepy.
I'll tell you what, that trailer though, with her Ma, I found it even exponentially more eerie. And by the way, I mean, this isn't a bash on the movie at all. I think it's just the fact that I was like too busy trying to figure it out as I was watching, but I was not scared once in this movie.
Now,
because I was really trying to figure it out.
And
I think.
Now that's the thing. Like, Get Out didn't scare me, and that's the thing. I'm a scaredy cat.
But it may be. But there were some real unsettling moments to me in that movie. And in Us, I didn't feel anything, but I was also like super focused on it.
I'm not gonna lie. Lupita as fucking her character with the bug eyes and
I want to tell you,
voice.
I'm not even shitting you.
I don't like that shit. That's scary.
Okay, and that's fair. But I'm gonna tell you, like, for real. Her performance is maybe one of the best performances I've ever seen.
Oh, when I tell you,
it's unbelievable.
Everything. Now, mind you, I got family members that they've seen this movie, and they're just like, this movie is garbage, this, that, and the other. But the one thing they said was, if you don't go see this motherfucker because of Lupita, because they were like, she killed this whole movie.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, she is unfucking believable.
And she scares me. Like, I can't unsee her character with the bug eyes and that creepy voice and that. No.
If there was if anybody had any lingering questions about her ability, they'll never have the answers if they don't have whatever is lingering for them that is questioning what she can do after having seen this movie. She is so good in it. Like, it is incredible.
Yeah. Actually, I take that back. It wasn't Octavia Spencer. It was Lupita that thanked Ryan Coogler for that, because he said that she was saying that if she didn't get that opportunity in Black Panther, she never would have got this opportunity.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But
yeah, dude, she is amazing. Also, Elizabeth Moss, who has a supporting role in the movie, she has a moment in the movie, and it's one of the best moments in the movie. I'm just going to say that, for real, if any actress would ever play, and I know this is what Harley Quinn is, if any actress would ever play the Joker, 100% it would be her.
Okay. I can kind of see it. Now, let me ask you this, though. You know my disdain of these two, but how was old boy
Tim Heidecker?
Yeah.
Oh, he's great. He serves a purpose.
Okay.
And honestly, it works. It's a thing where once you see it, you get why he was cast.
Because I'm going to tell you this.
I mean, it was great. It's worth it.
I can't stand him so much. I almost said I wasn't even going to watch this movie because he was in it.
I get it, but it's not. It's not that. But here's the thing: he was cast for a reason, and it plays to his strengths. Who's the other one?
No. It wasn't that. But we could discuss this off camera. But I think I finally understand anti-comedy. But I'll have to explain it to you. After the show.
Okay, this is going to be a long conversation. I'm going to love or hate every minute of it, too. But also, just real fast, that seeing Winston Duke, although it's the second thing we've really seen him in.
Now, this is the second movie. The funny thing is, I saw him on Modern Family.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's where I've actually
But to see him not play, M'Baku,
and
these are two diametrically opposed performances, and it's really fun to see. And by the way, he is 100% doing in real life Jordan Peele impression by the admission of him. Although Jordan Peele was like, I don't really see it, but of like of course, but it's like corny dad jokes, kind of like a nerdiness, about it, they say, but even Lakeith Stanfield said something online about like, man, he was doing and like commented on like Winston Duke's Instagram post or something, saying like, and that's exactly like Jordan with an LOL, and so like he's apparently just doing a dead on in real life.
That's
Jordan
funny.
Peele. From the glasses,
like now that you
to the voice, to the demeanor,
like now you say
everything.
In that one scene in the trailer where he was like,
we have
all
a
that problem?
Yeah,
like,
but it's the fake tough thing,
Yeah,
they said that that's all he's doing a dead on Jordan Peele impression.
That's hilarious.
Which
now
I love.
Makes me want to see the super more.
I know, but also it adds another dynamic to it. If you watch it knowing that, it's like, okay, yeah, okay.
Now, there was one other thing I was going to ask you about this movie. Do you think that it is actually? You said that it wasn't scary.
No, I said it scared people in the theater.
Okay.
Oh, so no, it just didn't scare me.
It just didn't scare you.
But it was extremely creepy. But it was never. I was too busy. Honestly, I was too busy focused on. I think I was thinking about past events in my head from the movie while watching it, how this contributes, because I was trying to solve the puzzle.
Okay.
Too much, but it was a fun theater environment because it was A, it was packed, but B, it was like people doing the like talking out loud, but not in a distracting way, and people were into it. Like somebody was like, "Oh fuck that," and like, "Oh hell no," and then people were like acting, like responding in a way, but nobody was just like no, because everybody was in on the ride.
Okay,
they were in for it. So it was really. It was one of the best. It was the most like. It was a true communal experience in a great way.
I'll say this,
which I love.
Us, Shazam, and even to some extent Captain Marvel have kind of gotten me into that feel where I think we discussed it. I think the last episode that I was starting to get the superhero fatigue.
Yeah.
Shazam actually fixed it.
Oh, recharge your batteries.
Like literally. After I got out of that movie, I was like, I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
I was like, and I'm actually looking forward to what DC has next. Now, not Suicide Squad 2, although they have Idris Elba in it, and I will go see it just because he's in there.
And it's a reboot. And they're rebooting.
And see, that's what I was trying to figure out, because they were talking about, at first it was going to be a sequel, but they were getting him in there, so now it's going to be a reboot.
They say it's a straight up reboot.
All right, that's fine with me.
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah. I mean, I fell asleep on it, so I don't know how bad it was.
Fuck that movie. It's garbage.
I got to wherever old boy's head got blown the fuck off.
Which is hilarious.
It was.
Okay, I mean we need to wrap up. I'll go into my bitching about something else later. But is there anything you can recommend? Because I have one thing.
If you haven't started watching it, Love, Death, and Robots.
Yes, I watched 3 episodes so far. 3 shorts.
So have I. Now I've been skipping around.
Okay, I just watched just the first 3 as they showed them to me.
I watched the first one, Farms, and Fish Tank.
Okay.
Farms is my favorite one so far, but
I'll ask you off what that is.
I mean,
I don't want to spoil stuff.
Well, there's not anything spoiled in the description. Even taught farmers with mech suits.
Okay, I've not seen that.
Yeah, it's. I think it's like episode 10.
Okay.
But
I dug the first. I saw 2 of them. I really dug the first 2 I saw.
I will say this: the best way to think about it is a modern version of heavy metal. If you
that's what I thought about.
Yeah,
I thought about heavy metal mixed with like Black Mirror.
A little bit,
it has like Twilighty little.
Like the first episode was really kind of Black Mirror-ish.
I enjoyed the shit out of that.
Yeah,
too.
and that was one of the ones where like I kind of predicted what was gonna happen.
Yeah,
but still the way they did it, it was still good.
I thought that I would watch a 90-minute movie with that. Honestly.
Yeah, like if they
they really fleshed it out and made some interesting choices, I thought it was fascinating.
And so far, actually the 3 I saw, I think I could actually see these fleshed out as like a full ass movie, or at least like a few shorts.
Oh, and by the way, the short stories like that they're based on are online.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's something about it online. I'll find the article that like links to them, and I'll send it to you.
Actually, post it on the page so that way anybody.
Oh yeah, right on. Okay, I'll do that. Which is the Excitable Gentleman page on Facebook.
Yes. We also have a Twitter. but I don't have the password for that anymore.
That's
So I
fair
gotta
enough.
reset that bitch. But
Fair enough.
and Turn Up Charlie.
I've heard of this.
It is a Netflix original starring Idris Elba.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He plays a DJ. It's a TV.
He
It's
plays
a
DJ.
series, right?
Yeah, he plays a DJ. His friend, he's kind of washed up, and he ends up becoming a nanny to his best friend that's an actor, and his wife that's a DJ. And surprisingly, it was actually very well done.
Is it okay? I've heard mixed things, but
I actually really liked it. It was very funny. Like the comedy in it actually really well done. Like I could see this as a regular sitcom, and they already said they're already shooting season 2.
okay. All right, on.
So yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, outside of that,
My recommendation is it actually airs here in May.
Mhm.
TV series. It's actually a friend of mine has first 4 have aired in the UK, so that's how they got them. It's the first 4 episodes I've seen of Fleabag, season 2, which is based on a play that Phoebe Waller-Bridge wrote, starred in. She made it into a TV series. The first season of which is on Amazon Prime. It's an it's such a good show. Season 2 though, and I love the first season. She also, by the way, created and wrote Killing Eve.
okay.
Season 2 of which starts in 2 weeks.
I'd say I've seen.
I love that show.
I think I've seen like 2 episodes
Yeah.
of it, but
It's really good.
it was a strange show, but I liked it though.
Season 2 starts in a couple weeks, week and a half or so. Anyway, point being, I've seen the first 4 episodes of season 2 of Fleabag, and it is unbelievable. Like, I'm not kidding. It's amazing. It is so well written and so interesting. I love the first season, but this new season is a totally different level.
Yeah.
And I cannot recommend it enough. Should be in Amazon Prime, I believe, in May.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if the first 4 episodes are in any way indicative of how the overall season is going to go, then I cannot recommend it enough. It is so good.
All right. Well, hey,
So, yeah.
I might have to get that one to watch then.
It's worth it. It's really good. Yeah. Anyway, follow me Twitter at Inquisitive Dick.
What is my Twitter name anymore? Follow me at, I believe, Black Market Jesus.
Okay. I like it. I say that, and we talked on here the other day. I didn't recognize what the at was though.
Yeah, there it is. At BLK_MKT Jesus.
Right on.
It's Nardi Henri. Come find me, goddammit.
Hell yeah.
I'll talk shit to you all day. Oh.
Okay.
All right, folks.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's it. We'll look forward to the next episode.
Thank you for listening. Share this. Like it. Text me what you think about it.
Yeah, there you go. You know, send us an email or something. Hit us up on the Facebook page.
Okay.
Do it all.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Bye, folks.
Bye. Protect your neck.